Good morning. So today we are going to discuss about some idioms. So the first word, let me explain the word meaning despair. Despair means hopelessness or desperation. So counsel means it's like advice or guidance. So that is the basic meaning, and there are several phrases related to this. A counsel of despair, which means resignation to a particular negative outcome or situation. Despair means hopelessness, so definitely it's a hopelessness situations, okay, negative situation. So that is known as a counsel of despair. So the sentence is, it saddens me to hear such a counsel of despair from our president about the situations regarding our healthcare system. So it's like an admission of defeat or hopelessness is the meaning, or one more meaning is there, it's like resignation to a particular negative outcome or situation. So the sentence is, it saddens me to hear such a counsel of despair from our president about the situation regarding our healthcare system. Now it's like despair of dash, despair of something. So it's like despair of, to view a situation as hopelessness. So that is known as despair of dash. Okay. Considering her dire diagnosis, I despaired of grandma ever regaining her health. Despaired of grandma ever gaining her health. He was despaired of her health. Okay, despair of. So the basic first one which we studied is a counsel of despair. Now despair of something. Now drive one to despair. Drive means to cause one to despair. Okay, so to cause one to experience sadness, hopelessness or frustration is known as drive one to despair. I am not surprised that his wife's death has driven him to despair. Grief has that effect on people. Try not to let this rejection drive you to despair. Cause you to despair is known as drive you to despair. Okay. Now there are something like into with into. Fall into despair and sink into despair. Both has the similar meaning. So to ensure into a state of utter hopelessness. So despair means everything into hopelessness. To enter into, that is into, fall into, enter into a state of utter hopelessness, helplessness and depression. I fell into despair when I was told that I hadn't got the job. We can't fall into despair just because our sales figures weren't what we were hoping for. This is known as sink into despair. So sorry. So we can sink past tense is sank. So sank into despair. So you can either use fall into despair or sank into or sink into despair. Both have similar meaning. Then in the depths of dash. Okay. In the depths means in the middle of, and whole consumed by a particular negative or difficult situation. So you can think in the middle of something means in the depths of something means, don't miss out this s. Okay, in the depths of something means in the middle of. The country was in the depths of the worst economic disaster of the last century. While I was in the depths of depression, it could be anything, depths of depression, I found that I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So we already discussed sink into despair. Now throw one's arms up in despair. So this is throw one's arm in despair. So it's not necessary that we have to make that physical movement. Okay. To make a gesture physically indicating one's despair and disbelief about something that. So one more meaning is there. So not necessarily done by literally putting one's arm in the air. Okay. So throw one's arms up in despair. We threw our arms up in despair after they told us that our appointment had been rescheduled again for a third time. We throw our arms up in despair after they told us that our appointment had been rescheduled again for a third time. The computer crashed for the third time that day and I threw my arms, not hands, threw my arms up in despair. Now another sentence is, the student threw his arms up in despair, claiming that the maths problems were impossible to solve. Don't just throw your arms up in despair, keep trying. So throw up one's hand, despair of something, drive someone to despair, means cause someone to despair. Okay. Despair of something. So these are extra sentence could be there. Already the meaning has been discussed. Poised. What do you mean by poised? So if an object or a part of your body is poised, it is completely still but ready to move at any moment. So imagine like this. So this is like standing still but ready to move at any time. That is runner poised. Let me check the pronunciation.
Poised.
Okay. My pencil was poised over the page, ready to take her words. So at the time of writing examination also. My pencil was poised over the page or at the time of interview, ready to take down her words. The company is poised to launch its new advertising campaign. Next sentence is, the military forces are poised for attack. Now fly in the face of something. So what is that? Fly in the face of something. So fly in the face of something, I didn't get a good picture. So this is, I will explain the meaning. To completely oppose that seems sensible or normal. That is known as fly in the face of something. This is an argument that seems to fly in the face of common sense. Okay, this is an argument that seems to fly in the face of common sense. So something completely oppose what seems sensible or normal. Now next is lend an ear. To listen to someone with sympathy, that is known as lend an ear. Clara is always one to lend a sympathetic ear if you have problems. Lend a sympathetic ear, lend an ear. Now next meaning is shoddy. Okay, shoddy means badly and carelessly made, usually low quality material. So something made up of low quality material is known as shoddy. So that's why it's like 1 star only. Fine. Shoddy goods, shoddy workmanship. Next is pride yourself on doing something. To be especially proud of something that you do well or of a good quality that you have. So pride yourself on doing something. So the sentence is a restaurant that prides itself on speed of service. See the usage of on. She prided herself on being a good listener. Okay, pride herself on something. That is the word. Contain means control. So this is a good vocabulary. So farms in the area have been closed off in an attempt to contain the disease. In an attempt to contain the disease. More police were sent to help contain the violence. Next sentence is she could no longer control her anger and started yelling at him. Next word is turn tail. Okay, to turn around and run away, usually because you are frightened. So that is known as turn tail. So it's like turn away and running because you are frightened. That is known as turn tail. Okay. As soon as they saw we had guns, they turned tail and ran away. You can't go around starting fights and then turning tail when they don't go your way. So there are more phrases related which is synonym with turn tail, that is beat a retreat. So the first one is beat a retreat. So it has the same meaning like turn away, turn tail, okay, because you are frightened. Seeing that they were hopelessly outnumbered, the troops beat a retreat. So this is the picture I got. Beat a retreat. Next word is beat it. It's same only. They beat it out there when the cops showed up. So next phrasal word is make tracks. The frightened cat made tracks into the other room when guests began to arrive. Cat made tracks into the other room. So in tandem, next word is in tandem, means at the same time. Okay, in tandem, at the same time. So this is Times of India in tandem. Okay. The heart and lungs will be transplanted in tandem. So I want these two groups to operate in tandem on this project togetherly, simultaneously. So it is a good vocabulary which we can use at the time of teamwork. Now go off on a tangent. So which means to start talking about something that is only or slightly indirectly related to. So if you are going off the topic, that is known as go off on a tangent. She went off on a tangent about what happened to her last summer. It's hard to get a firm decision out of him. He is always going off on a tangent. Going off. Okay. Go off. See, it's like off topic, on topic, off topic, and the other person won't, who is sitting beside you, won't be understanding, right? Now, on target. On target means accurate. Okay. So these are the synonyms for that: accurate, exact, good, on target, precise. So these are the antonyms. Now, leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth. Leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth. Which means if an experience leaves a bad taste in your mouth, you have an unpleasant memory of it. So you don't want to think of, right? That is known as leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth. I think we all felt he will be untreated. He will be he had been sorry. I think we all felt he had been treated very unfairly, and it left a bad taste in our mouth. So the whole experience left a bad taste in my mouth. Next is somebody's cup of tea. Not be somebody's cup of tea. If something is not your cup of tea, it is not the type of thing you like. Okay. Thanks for inviting me, but ballet isn't really my cup of tea. Cup of tea. So it's like isn't really my cup of tea. Isn't really my cup of tea. I see already that storytelling is in my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. Put something to test. To the test. Put something to the test. To find out how good something is. That is known as put something to the test. Her constant questions put the teacher's patience to the test. It's not on the test, it's like to the test. Put something to the test. Next word is thick and fast. Quickly and in large numbers is known as thick and fast. Distress calls were pouring in. So a lot of calls. That is known as pouring in. Okay, distress calls were pouring in thick and fast. Then it's a 2 comma over here. From all over the area. Next word is sit under somebody, which means to receive teaching from someone or to get to be controlled. Okay, he sat under the most influential teacher in his field. So the meaning is to receive. Sit under somebody means to receive teaching from someone. So that's the end. So it's common that everyone will be worried about evildoers, wrongdoers, and we could even envy them, right? So because they will be more successful than any other person, we feel like that. So it's the Bible verse which says, do not worry because of evildoers. Yes, they give you worries, they make you sad, but do not worry. So ask Jesus for the grace to not worry because of evildoers, nor be envious. Envy is a spirit. It's so that's why it's said, nor be envious towards wrongdoers, for they will wither quickly like the grass, like they will dry off quickly like the grass and fade like the green herb. So their life won't be sustainable for long. Okay, so if some evildoers or wrongdoers are there in your life, you can ask. They should wither quickly like the grass and fade like the green herb. So you can just pray with that Bible verse. It will work. Thank you.